My name is Álvaro Espinosa. I'm with the Business Excellence Group and also owner of B9 Sigma Consulting Group. We as a team, we are presenting now this quick training about the advantages and the actually the key ability of organizations to track metrics. And I think that there is a lot of material out there trying to explain why it's important to be able to track metrics, key business indicators, they call it, or key process indicators. I'm very surprised that in my career, out there, I find very interesting that it's not that easy, and I think that we all, at a point, and think that we are able to track metric, but I think that in this conversation we're gonna touch on some of the very critical aspects of tracking metric and how you can actually transform your organization using key process indicators, tracking and improvement. So let's get started. These are the key metrics that we suggest to start off for all our organizations. Again, in the Business Excellence Group, we believe in implementation more than as part of education. We believe that you learn as you develop and you implement. For some clients, we understand the criticality of training, but real knowledge and real command of any subject actually comes from experience, and experience comes from actual implementation. So this is what, on our experience, are the four key initial key business indicators for a manufacturing operation. In this case, we're gonna go in this example for this actual customer that their primarily effort, as you can see this in my cursor, is parcels. They do pick and pack, they do kind of a 3PL type of work, pick and pack and shipping and logistics, and they procure their goods from Asia primarily. So this is for them, actually. This training is for them. So basically, just to refresh, we are going to be discussing daily headcount as one of the major key business indicators to monitor. Second, we're going to monitor the daily temporal versus permanent ratio or percentage or ratio or proportion, right? So how many temporal people versus permanent do we have in an organization? We're going to discuss why it's important, this metric, and when it's used and why it's used. And then the third parameter or output or key business indicator that we're going to monitor is daily output. In this case, could be units produced. This could be labor hours incurred, or in this case, packages shipped. Whatever is your activity, whatever is your value add, basically it's output. And of course, it's very obvious why you want to track that, but in this case, combined with the headcount in that specific unit or manufacturing cell is powerful, and is actually something that if you take to heart can actually change your organization and your way that you view things in operations. So the fourth parameter is daily units per headcount, and in this case we are combining monitoring the headcount as indicated in this column, in these specific two key business indicators, combined with the output. And this is very good, very powerful, because that way you can establish productivity measures, you can establish hiring processes based on production plans, or you can actually establish some flexibility in your manufacturing cell, so you can actually don't lose efficiency while you are having problems in your supply chain and procurement. So we're gonna start talking about that in a minute. So basically, for the headcount Well, the first comment is like when we start off with our client, we start off with this, right? They were tracking headcount, actual headcount versus temporal, and they set up a target. And they have very disciplined organization. They track every single data every day, right? But at this point, there was not much that you can read here, right? And also the output is also a collection of colors, and it's all good. And I think they understand this very well, and they operate in a very efficient way with this information. However, the invitation for us was to transform these couple reports into a trend tracking system. So you can actually see trends, understand seasonality, understand also some aspects of even in a given week, you can see that there is a bigger turnover either Mondays or Fridays. It's kind of obvious, but you can start understanding how to schedule your workforce, your business your production associates in a better way to really understand when you are having, like for instance, look at this chart. It tells you that this is like a constant, right? They start high, then low, and then they high, low, high, low. So there is a pattern here in terms of attendance, and you can see. Let's dive into this data a little bit. So you can see that the target is set for this specific work cell to be in 11 people, and they struggle to really get converged to that number. And when you analyze this information, this trend, you can see that the first thing is that you maybe have a very slow hiring process, or maybe you are not competitive with your region or the locations you are, right? Your dollars per hour are maybe not matching the market, or you are not retaining people because of the safety issues or whatever. So it's very, very important that you track your target versus the actual, and that you sit with your teams and walk the floor to understand what is really happening. And I think HR is a job for everybody. I think that the good organizations that I've been able and honored to work with are the ones that it's not an HR thing. Operations is on charge, and they go the next level to understand why people is leaving, or they are not able to retain or to hire fast enough. So this is a key metric that will tell you is completely proportional to your output. So tell me if this is a parameter that is critical or not. Then so that's why it's critical. The next thing that I want to explain is the support ratio. Support ratio is something that I used for years in my biggest job that I ever had. It was at 6 to 8,000 people in a given time, fluctuate from 6,000 to 8,000. And then in some good years, we went to 10,000, accounting other repair operations. So it was a big job. And there it was very critical for us to understand this ratio. So if you look at these guys are going for 18% support ratio. It means that 18% of the people of the total needs to be from an agency, as somebody that they can actually schedule every day for flexibility. So why is important? Because if your business has seasonality, or you have some sort of recurrent problems to either allocate materials, or have like some limitations about getting ready some EDI orders or stuff like that, or Mondays are slow, you can perfectly schedule the people that you want by day, and the support ratio helps you to do not schedule people that won't have a job. And it's very important to keep people busy in the industry, because every person that you have in a production floor that is not busy or adding value, at least in my eyes, in some of the lean manufacturing authors, is a liability because people is distracted, is distracting other people. So this ratio, support ratio, is very, very important. And why is important? For instance, if you are in a medical industry where it's very important that people is very well trained, the learning curves are very important, this support ratio target is zero. You don't want people to be from an agency that is fluctuating and is like changing name of the person, right? So you want all your guys be on top of their game. So the support ratio is zero. But if you have a seasonality business, or you have, as I said, some intrinsic issues, it's very important you have some flexibility so you don't lose your efficiency. And you need a very good supervisors to making those calls to say, hey, for instance, in this case, they have too much direct labor. They have too much permanent jobs. So let's say that if tomorrow they have a big shortage in material, all these people will claim for their salary without output. Then your efficiency and your cost for organization will be huge. So these guys, these customer specific, they need to maintain a support ratio. So they need to probably move some of the material that is permanent to other more complicated operations other than parcels, and they need to bring some temps so they have some flexibility when they need to use the flexibility. If that makes sense. It's a deep concept, but I hope that that's clear enough. Some other organizations use the support ratio to also the probation periods where you bring employees or talent or new employees, and then you need to test them for 2 months. You need to understand what people is there, and if you will understand if the support ratio or the people that is being hired is going to be productive for your team. And it won't be impressions, it won't be if it's my friend or my cousin or whatever. It's totally based on data regarding the output and the productivity in your manufacturing sales. So at any rate, that's the second parameter. The third parameter is the output. And this is very obvious. So this guy has a target of 5,000 parcels shipped per day. And of course, they are being down. And it was very hard to understand that from this report. It was really hard for me and from their team to make decisions, but they start saying like, oh no, we are below our target. And you see how they start converging from a very poor output. Once they establish the target, we start implementing like in February, the third week of February, and then they start climbing the hump, right? And you see that they miss by very little. And I can tell you that this is totally associated by the lack of headcount. You look at see like they were below of their target. So this is more like they were probably on target in this space here in this, but because of they were not hitting the headcount, then the output was struggling. So once they hire and they put the people in place, like using these couple days, then the output start climbing, and they got a really great day the last day that we logged this. So this is how important it is to see trends, right? It's just like a jumps at you what's going on in the operation. Then, so that's output, and output is also very good for you to understand. As I said, if you have seasonality problems or issues during the week or absenteeism and things of that nature in your manufacturing cell. The fourth item is, and this is probably the most powerful, is units per head count. So you know the output, you know your actual head count per day, so you can actually track what is your actual units per head. So look at this. See the productivity here. Even you don't need to talk about pricing. You don't need to talk about revenue to the employees, things that are not relevant for them. You just need to tell them you need to do your quota. You need to do your. In this case, the target per head is 56 units, and if we are below. Now that we all know about COVID and how many industries are closing their doors and how some businesses are not open anymore, Of course, COVID is a big factor, but also in the good times they were not productive. This gap between 20 and 56 is just lost in efficiency, and the company goes and pays the salaries and all good, but then they don't recover that revenue, and then they start struggling. They need to go and look for cash, and when we do this, and if you have a good communication with your team, is all these negatives below the target, it means that we are risking the permanence of the business. As this is capitalism 101. I mean, there is no free lunch. When you don't meet your productivity numbers, then you struggle. So when they started to really put it together, now they can say, okay, we can even reach 99 units per employee, which was probably was a repetitive job that they set up like an assembly line, and they really kill it there. But you see, if you just go above, you don't need to be doing miracles. You just need to make sure that you are not losing your time and distracting the employees, and you have a good setup in the production line. So final comments on this is that this scorecard is very easy to put together. You just have a very easy entry board, and we put this together with you basically by day. You know what days are not working, and then what area, what leader, in this case was Reina, and then you just, it's very easy. You just put the headcount goal, the actual, for the permanent team. What is the permanent team actual? You just always has to have a goal and an actual. So some guys say like, this is magnificent. Well, to put this together, you need to know your business and establish goals. And so it's not like it comes magically. You need to establish, as I said, permanent headcount goals, then measure the actual. And all you need to do is really just continue this. And this is so automatic that you can just go and populate the new fields of the new days, and it will just extend automatically your data points, in your graphs. And all you need to just really do, as I said, you just drag it out, and then you can just continue loading your numbers, and the graphs is going to be updated automatically. So anyway, then you also put the temporal goal and actual, your total goal in headcount, your actual. In this case, they want 11 people, and as you see, like they will struggle, and that correlates to the output, right? So it's fascinating how some management doesn't understand that part. That why are we not making our numbers? And it's basically because we are not. Correcting our issues in HR. It's as simple as that. It doesn't have nothing to do with the supervisor. It doesn't have nothing to do with the HR manager. But you as a leader, if you are not sensitive of what's going on with your labor force, then you will start struggling in your output, right? Your numbers. So at any rate, then this is the ratio, the target ratio. And as I said, it's 18%. They are way below that. That means that they have more. They don't have enough flexibility, and some mistake that some companies do is that they have these flexibility ratios, but they don't really do anything with it. They continue bringing people from the agencies that they don't need, or they don't have enough work. They don't schedule production, for instance. I find a lot of customers that they don't believe in the production plan. It's done by every day in a very unstandardized way, and that really hampers the ability to be efficient, because then you cannot schedule people accordingly, right? If you do your production plan the same day that you're running it, then you will be always behind. So the invitation is also, this will help you to understand how to really say, okay, I'm gonna freeze my production plan and make sure that tomorrow we go for this number, and even if it's a lower number, I'm going to schedule the proper people so I'm efficient and I don't lose productivity. In other words, money or EBITDA for having people just doing nothing on the floor. So this type of things are exposed by this type of metrics, and if you are a good leader, you can understand this and start like really using this in your favor. So the next thing is you also put your target or units sold, in this case ship and packaged, and then what is your actual, right? And you can see that it's very straightforward. Not very, very straightforward. It's just a data sheet where you just log all the actual and plan, and then you put your actual head count, and then you can actually have your actual head count. You have your target units sold per day, right? You have your actual units, and then you have your actual head count, your actual units or parcels shipped by head count. And this actually uses your own data on your output versus your head count, actual head count. And then just to show you, they put a target of 56 per head count. That's the target. And this is actually need to be green as well. So I'm gonna fix that in a minute. But anyway, the important thing is that you see that, and when you look at the graph, you see how you are below this target and how you can start like converting into or converging to the target as you start measuring. There is a theory of actually a DMAIC theory of one black belt Six Sigma methodology establishes that if you're just measuring and look at the metrics will help you at least 20% in your improvement. So which is like mesmerizing, but that's what it is. So this will just help you to improve if you just implement this very, very simple scorecard for these metrics. So very simple, you refresh and then boom, you have your graph. So I hope that this helps you to understand why it's important to maintain these dashboards. One last comment that I have to share, and it's a little bit of the curveball right now for you listening to this, is that this metric tracking is the next level of what I will call the lean thinking, because if you are familiar with the A3 methodology, or what is called like A3 thinking, the first aspect is, or the DMAIC or Six Sigma methodology, is define, measure, right? The two first processes to do is define your metric, measure your metric, and analyze your metric. This specific step takes you right there. And in the A3 thinking, no action or Kaizen is established without a target in mind. So without tracking a metric, your level of success to understanding if your actions are improving your processes is zero. I mean, as simple as that. So very critical. As I said, I think as is underestimated the power, and is underestimated how we don't really know how to measure some metrics. But anyway, this is the content of this video. I hope you like it. We have this spreadsheet available. You don't need to invent the wheel. We will provide it to you for no money. It's in our website. You can give us a call. We will happy to provide this for free. And guys, I hope to see you around in the Business Excellence Group website, or in our website also in B9 Sigma Consulting Group. I hope, guys, that you find this useful, and I'll see you in the next of the series. Take care.